After the remaster of Katamari Damacy in 2018 and the remaster of its sequel, We Love Katamari, in 2023, fans of the franchise have been wondering if Bandai Namco was leading up to a brand new title in the Katamari franchise. And no, I'm not talking about the other Katamari game that was released exclusively for Apple Arcade and iOS devices.
Katamari Damacy Rolling Live is available now on Apple Arcade.
I would argue that despite Katamari's absence with a brand new title in the past decade, it still has remained an iconic franchise for Bandai Namco, being kept alive through crossover appearances in games such as Little Big Planet and Astrobot, or just meme culture in general. During that time, Katamari fans were starving for a brand new console title, and after 14 long years of waiting, they finally got it. Once Upon a Katamari is here, and yes, it is definitely another Katamari game. And that's totally okay. No, for real. While Once Upon a Katamari doesn't really reinvent the formula, it adds just enough to spice up the experience. I assume most people watching this video will be familiar with the basic gameplay structure of a Katamari game, but for those who don't, it's actually deceptively simple. You control the Prince of the Cosmos. Yes, this little green guy right here. The story premise of this Katamari game is that your father, the King of the Cosmos, accidentally rips a hole in the space-time continuum, destroying planet Earth and the stars around the universe. In order to fix this mess, the king sends the prince throughout various eras in history to slowly and surely rebuild the universe and restore it back to normal. And that's pretty much it in terms of story. If you're expecting a heavy narrative or an overarching plotline, Katamari really isn't that franchise. It's not to say that there is no story or that it's bad or anything, but it's clearly not the focus, and that's alright by me. As you play the game, there are some interstitial cutscenes showing what the king and the queen have been up to, and they're honestly pretty cute. But again, Katamari has never been a narrative-heavy franchise, so let's talk more about the core gameplay of Once Upon a Katamari and what new features this title brings to the franchise. Throughout your journey, you'll come across the prehistoric era, the Wild West, even ancient Greece. Each era has their own world map with around 4 or more levels, depending on the era, and the game does a good job of making every era feel different from one another, each giving off their own unique vibe. As the prince, you're tasked by the king to roll up tons of objects with a ball called a Katamari. You usually start off small, so you can only pick up items around your size, but as you start rolling up more and more items, your Katamari increases in size, thus allowing you to roll up even bigger items, and this creates the beautiful and simple cycle of Katamari. As with other Katamari games, there is such an oddly specific satisfactory feeling when rolling around your Katamari. The gameplay loop does a great job of granting the player a sense of progression within the level. For example, in one level, in the feudal Japan era, you start off being only 30 centimeters tall, and by the end of it, you're literally rolling up buildings and ships as part of your 35 plus meter Katamari. Now, I'm not saying that this feeling is new to Once Upon a Katamari. It's been present since Katamari Damacy back on PS2. However, it is a testament to just how good the gameplay loop has been that this still doesn't feel old or tiresome to me at all. Every time I boot up a new level, I never felt the repetition get to me in a negative way. In fact, the gameplay loop is quite therapeutic in a way. Now, not every mission is going to be all about increasing the Katamari to a specific size. One mission in the ancient Egypt period asks you to use the Katamari, now filled with water, to hydrate the land. So instead of rolling up items, you're instead tasked with covering as much of the surface area possible with water. Another mission might ask you to create the largest Katamari possible, with only rolling up 50 items. One of my personal favorites was one in ancient Greece, where you had to find and roll up 8 philosophers into your Katamari. I don't know why this one got to me, but there's something amusing about finding someone like Socrates and warping his perception of reality as he gets attached to your rolling ball of chaos. One brand new addition in Once Upon a Katamari comes in the form of power-ups. Now, these are scattered around the level and will assist you in multiple ways. My favorite of these is absolutely the magnet. It does exactly what you think it does. sucks up everything in the area to make your Katamari even bigger in a short amount of time. While it doesn't last long, it is absolutely worth it. There's also the rocket, which greatly increases the speed of your Katamari, allowing you to traverse the level at an insane pace. But one item in particular came in really clutch for me, and that is the radar. Now the radar will help guide you in finding all the specific collectibles in the level. That's right, just like with past Katamari games, there are also a ton of collectibles here in Once Upon a Katamari. These include 3 hidden crowns, which is required for the Platinum Trophy by the way, but more importantly, the radar can help you find your cousins. Collecting these cousins will allow you to play as them instead of the prince. The cousins come in all shapes and sizes, and some of them get really weird. Like there's one that's basically a tennis ball, one cousin that's shaped like a donut, and one that's shaped like a horse. Yeah, it's better not to think too deeply about it and just move on. Another collectible that can be found are presents. Collecting these presents in each level will reward you with a new cosmetic item, allowing you to customize your character. There are head, face, and body pieces to find throughout the entire game, and these can be used on the prince or any cousin you collect. And there's also more customization. You can unlock different emotes and equip up to 8 of them for your personal character, and you can also collect unique faces for your prince or cousin, whichever one you choose. Personally, I just stuck to the default prince look for most of the entire game, mainly because I just find them too iconic to change up. That might sound sacrilege, but hey man, the prince will forever be my goat. One cool feature that I do want to mention is that if you have save data of either Katamari Damacy Reroll or We Love Katamari Reroll on your console, you will get a bonus cousin, the Young King, which is pretty neat. I always love when games do this sort of thing, and I'm glad Bandai Namco is kind of bringing this trend back, not only with Once Upon a Katamari, but with the recently released Pac-Man World 2 repack, so kudos to them. It's a feature I greatly appreciate. Now, there's also a multiplayer mode in this game as well. Unfortunately, I didn't really have anyone to test this out with during the review period, so I can't really speak on it, but one thing I do want to highlight that this game just absolutely nails is the soundtrack. Katamari has always been known for its unique and vibrant soundtrack, and Once Upon a Katamari is no different. I love the music in this game so much. Obviously, I can't play any of the music in full right here, but while playing the game, I highly suggest you take a second to take in the music. Trust me, you will not regret it. Does Once Upon a Katamari reinvent the formula? No, not really. But it didn't need to. The core gameplay loop is still strong as ever, combined with a killer soundtrack and just enough new gameplay elements to spice things up a little bit. Once Upon a Katamari is an easy recommendation from me for both fans of the franchise and brand new players. I hope this game is the start of a new era for the Katamari franchise, but for now, let's just enjoy the present and enjoy what we got so far, which is a good game in Once Upon a Katamari. I am Real Radic. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.